Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV and the Premier League Weekend Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Premier League Weekend Show. I am joined by two special guests, two of my favourites, Talk MU and Omondi. How are you guys doing? You all right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Interesting weekend.
It has been, isn't it? There's lots to talk about, and big ups to Lauren as well. We couldn't make it today, unfortunately. She'll be back next week, hopefully. So if you're tuning in, Lauren, shouts out to you.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah, lots going on this weekend, isn't there? Especially, of course, our club. Lots of news. We will get on to that. But maybe we should talk about the fixtures then. And starting off with the first one here. Leicester 0, Chelsea 3. Chelsea doing great. I know Brendan Rodgers is under fire at the moment as well at Leicester. Start with you, Talk. What did you make of this result? What do you think it means for Leicester and Brendan Rodgers and how well Chelsea are doing at the moment as well, dominating the Premier League, right?
Yeah, listen, Chelsea, they're going really strong at the moment. I do believe though that there's going to be sort of peaks and troughs in their season. There's no two ways about that. They ain't going to just kind of keep winning. But you know what, you can't argue at the moment. They're playing really well, and Tuchel's doing a great job. The result 3-0, I would say it was deserved overall from what I watched. Listen, you've got to remember here also the fact that when you talk about Brendan Rodgers, you know, at Leicester, he's been shoved into the kind of ghost light here of Man United and the position at Man United, you know, whether he wanted it or not. So he's got that to deal with as well. And, you know, the squad are kind of be, you know, it does affect you as a player. You know, if you start hearing rumours, you know, oh, this team, this massive club wants to come in and nick your manager, you know, you're like, yeah, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know, it's it's got to affect you as a player. So, you know, dealing with that as well. But I think they'll be safe though, Leicester, this season. I think whether he'll get top four is a big. I don't think he will. If I'm honest with you, I don't think he'll get top four. I think top six is a more of a realistic achievement for Leicester, I believe.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Omondi, what do you make of this for Leicester? And of course, like Talk said as well, Tuchel doing very well with Chelsea this season so far.
Yeah, firstly with Chelsea, I think the result is a big one. A proper test. I think Leicester, going to Leicester, is still a decent team. Obviously, they've over the last couple of years, they've been playing really high, got high level performance. But something as Talk was saying just now, I do think something they've just dipped in form recently, even though they beat Man United. They are dipping in form of late. And to lose at home like that, they lost to Arsenal as well at home. And now they've lost to Chelsea, which is probably, you know, to go into form. I thought they were going to do something against Arsenal. So there's something wrong there. Maybe they need to turn it up and maybe wait for the January transfer window to sort of freshen up the side. But I do think it's something to do with Brendan Rodgers being linked away from the club. As for Chelsea, I mean, they've got three different goal scorers here. Rudiger, Kante and Pulisic. So, excuse you. And I think with, what's his name, Lukaku out, the people might have questioned whether they've got a proper goal scorer, but they continue to win. Another clean sheet. Their goalkeeper is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I didn't realise, where's he come from? I didn't know who he was. Apparently he's related to the Real Madrid left back Mendy, you know, as well. But yeah, they're doing really well, and I think that comes down to the manager. And once again, it just highlights again just how important a good manager is for a club, because in the space of a year, we're talking about Chelsea's title contenders, and they won the Champions League.
Well put, very well put. I mean, look, I think Chelsea are kind of running away with it now. They're not slipping up too much. I don't think they've lost a game so far this season, have they?
They have, yeah.
Yeah, they have.
They lost to early in the season. They lost to someone. Oh, who was it?
There we go. That's where I've got caught now.
But they have lost the game. But I think just from me, you know what, as good as a job he's doing there, Tuchel and everything else, there's issues in terms of the contracts and blah blahs going on at the club, and I just don't think he's on the same level as Pep, and I don't think the squad they've got is as good as Manchester City's. And for me, Manchester City they've got the experience, they've got the know-how. As soon as they like today, well, we won't talk about that because you're going to lead up to that. But for me, it's Manchester City's to let somebody else take away from them, in my opinion.
So on the 25th of September, they lost at home to Man City, as talk was just talking about Man City.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. The only team that probably would beat Chelsea at the moment anyway, isn't it? So makes a lot of sense.
I don't know. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, it's never, you know, you get these kind of crazy upsets. I mean, we've seen it loads of times, you know, teams that have sort of been on the kind of winning run. You know, look at Liverpool, look at Man City. There's been times where they come up against teams, everybody's like, 3 points, and then whoosh, bang, they get done. You know, it's never a guarantee in this league because, as we know, anybody can beat anybody on the day. You know, it's just a case of who turns up.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And look, I think with Leicester as well, like you guys said, I think maybe, like Omondi said, they need to get maybe some players in January that might help them rejuvenate themselves and get top 6. You said, didn't you? That was probably more realistic for them.
For Leicester, yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
On to the next one then, guys. And great start for Steven Gerrard. 2-0 against Brighton. Not so good for Brighton. I know they've been slipping a little bit. They were like 4th a couple of weeks ago. So slipping down the table. And I think we said about this as well, that they will do. It's unpreventable. But yeah, what do you make of this win for Aston Villa? I mean, good start.
Brilliant. I mean, you listen to Steven Gerrard's post-match interview. Just, you know what, you're like, wow, yeah. Let's listen to him. You know, he's just so full of confidence and he's just so full of himself. But you know, rightly so. I mean, he's done a great job up at Rangers. You know, he's come in and took this job by the gonads. Really, you know, he's not shy. He's not been scared. He's not been put off by anything. He's not letting anything get in his way. And you listen to what he said after the game about, you know, where he knew where they wanted to hurt Brighton. So he'd already identified where Brighton had their weaknesses, and he's exploited those weaknesses and come out with a 2-0 win. And you know what? It's a great sign for Villa. You know, I know it's new manager balance syndrome and all the blah blahs, but for me, I just think Brighton are kind of they're in a moment where they've kind of, you know, there's too many doors. There's too many doors appeared now, and they're a bit confused as to which one to open to get the result. And this can happen at a club, and that's where the manager earns his corn by, you know, bringing everything back to what it is you're good at. You know, don't lose sight of what it is that you're good at, and don't try getting too fancy, you know, because this will happen like we've just seen. Because we know that Graham Potter's a great manager. He is a great manager. He's done a great job at Brighton and the clubs he was at previously. But obviously, Steven Gerrard's come in there full of bravado and confidence. He's got the team at it. Brighton have just been, they're a little bit they've sort of gone a little bit stale at the moment for me, Brighton. They need to really change something up and quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Brighton can do, actually, because like you said, Potter's a great manager. He's got the best out of him for the last couple of seasons. But at this moment in time, he seems to be finding it difficult. Omondi, mate, as well. It's a great start for Gerrard, isn't it? Extremely good. I mean, you want to win your first ever Premier League game as a manager. You want to win it. Your first match of the day interview going well as well, of course. He was pretty happy with that last night. He was like, yes, I'm on match of the day and it's a win. So it's good for him.
Gerrard is like almost autistic the way he's channeled in. With his football, he's professional. With his management, he's shown the same sort of attributes as a player. I really like what he's doing. I like what he did at Rangers, but like you say, it's always hard to assess what you're doing up there when there's only 2 teams in the title race and that kind of thing. I'm just looking at stats. To play against Brighton on your first game, I thought, oh God, this could be a bit risky. I was really looking forward to, I was keeping an eye out for this game. Brighton had 63% of the game in possession, and but Villa had more shots. So they're a bit more sting to them. I think what is interesting as well, because Villa played 4-3-3 because when you got two strikers like Watkins and Ings now, you're thinking you got to play both of them somehow, and he did. He played Watkins on the wide, Ings down the middle, and he played the Argentine from Norwich on the right.
Yeah,
Benduzi or whatever his name is. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, what about them? What about Liam Bailey? How's he going to get into the game? You know, but playing a 4-3-3, then you are going to get Liam Bailey in because he can play wide and that kind of thing. But Watkins and Ings, they've got two attackers there who should both be playing on the pitch at the same time. They're that good. And I think 2-0, clean sheet against Brighton, even though Brighton must have clearly had more of the play, more possession. That strikes me as a great result because it's like bang, bang, get the goals and then manage the game, see it out, and don't concede. So fair play. I think Gerrard is going to be very interesting to watch to see how he develops as a manager because he is in that learning stage, and I like the route that he's taken, as in Rangers, Villa, and then see how he progresses from there. I think Villa are a sleeping giant. I think he can do bits with them, given the time and the investment and the money, which they do have, and we might see something special for them.
Do you know what? I want to make a little point about something else that you said, Gerrard, which was, you know, because it was mentioned about the possession, and he said, we let them have the ball where we wanted them to have the ball, and that's clever. That's clever because you identify where a team isn't that great at having to, push the ball out from certain areas of the pitch. It's like, okay, then you think you're that good. All right, we'll let you have the ball then in that area of the pitch. Now you try and get it out. You know what I mean? And it's really clever that from Gerrard. And I think, if he can keep this squad at it and he keep this squad happy, and they do spend a little bit of money on, because I believe he wants to bring some of the players that he's worked with up at Rangers into the club.
Ryan Kent, for example.
But this is where he has to be careful, though, in my opinion, Monday, because as you know, and you know, Matt, it's a dangerous game to play. That when you've got a happy squad, you come in as new manager and you start bringing in new faces from your old club, it can upset the apple cart big time. So he's got to be careful how he does that, in my opinion, and he's got to do it at the right time. Because if he doesn't get that bit right, that's where things could go south on him.
I think you make a really good point there, Talk. I think there's so many variables about being a manager. There's so many things. It's not so easy, is it? As we've seen with so many sackings recently in the Premiership, it's not an easy job. And like what you just said there, fine-tuning things, getting things right, get attention to detail and things like that. Like you said with the possession stats, that was a great point you really made there about the possession. You could have possession passing around your centre-backs for like 63%, But like you say, it's the goals that count at the end of the day. So yeah, great points you made there, talking you.
It was great points, and it was a great goal from Ollie Watkins, and I think Gerrard can get the best out of Ollie Watkins personally as well. The English link up, I think's good for him. I think Ollie Watkins looks up to him as well. So yeah, I just think it's good. It's good for Aston Villa. I hope Brighton get back on their feet, dust themselves down, and rejuvenate themselves and try and stick to being at least top six, maybe, because I think that's probably what Brighton will probably be looking for, won't they?
I think just to add, we said it last year, Brighton needed a goal scorer because if you look at their conversion rate for the stats they have, they always create chances. If they had a proper goal scorer, they might be doing bits. And we're seeing that again. What's his name? The ex-Brentford guy, Mopai. Okay, he's not really. He's had a little spell, but he's not really going to score 20 goals a season. If they had that 24-goal season guy with the same tactics they employ, they would be really successful. So there's just a few tweaks. They'll be thereabouts, but no way relegation threatened. Top team, they're established now.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game then. Burnley 3, Crystal Palace 3. Again, we'll talk about Vieira doing very well at Palace. Okay, he didn't win, but they're scoring goals. They're playing lovely football. Very different from Roy Hodgson as well. Talk, what do you make of this result? Sean Dyche is probably quite happy as well, scoring a few more goals than they usually do.
Yeah, but I think it's indicative of the bravery of Crystal Palace here because they're kind of going away from home, putting it on teams, which is a great thing to see. But in doing so, it does expose your weaknesses in terms of being in a good shape defensively when you lose the ball. Whatever. That's what's probably happened there is with Burnley. Burnley sort of shoring it up. We know what they're like under Sean Dyche. Really tough team to break down. So in order for them to score them, I've not watched the game, but I mean, you look at the scoreline, it will suggest, because you know how Burnley play, you know how Palace play, it will suggest certain events that have took place. And I think what you've got to take your hat off to Patrick Vieira. You know, he's doing a fantastic job there at Palace. That's a great point to take away from Burnley, who nobody likes to play. Nobody likes to play Burnley. They're a tough team, not just tough in terms of trying to get a result at their place, but tough physically. You know, they're all over you. They're not going to give you an easy game. So, yeah, from Sean Dyche's perspective, you've got to think, you know what? He's like, yeah, okay, they've come to us. They've really put it on us, but we've took advantage of them in their weak moments, and we've gone on and put the ball in the net just as many times as they have. So I'm sure he'll be quite happy with the point.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Monday?
I want to make a few points about this. I like Vieira. I like what he's coming. Like I said, he's gone and done his education, New York City, Man City reserves or youths, whatever. He was at Nice for a period of time as well. He's got a lot of experience. He's come into the Premier League. He's got an eye, a bit like Wenger. He's already known who's good, who to bring in, and he's done exactly that. And he's got Crystal Palace, like you said, under Roy Hodgson, they were playing safe, secure. Now they've just turned up a notch, level 2, level 3, a bit more attacking, everything else. Look at the stats here, 61% away from home at Burnley, okay? Guess how many shots? 18 shots for Crystal Palace, 15 shots for Burnley. Amazing, isn't it? You know, this is like two teams that might be struggling for goals, everything else. This was an exciting game, and this is end-to-end goal chances created. This is what you want to see. I'm sure all the fans who turned up that day really enjoyed the game, and the result suits both of them. I just want to say big up to Vieira, and I also want equally big up Sean Dyche, because with the resources he has, it's no one else I don't think would survive this long. He's brought in one player, Kone from Lyon, who's a left-footed winger sort of guy. He's played really well this season. He's fitted in perfectly for them, you know. So I'm really impressed by them. Everyone was saying they had a slow start of the season. There was one point when they were looking at the points they had after a certain amount of games and saying how they could be struggling relegation and all that. And since then, they've turned it up, and they've got a draw at Chelsea, I think. And this is the thing, never write them off, because eventually they'll keep grinding away, and they will get results. They will get results. When it gets to that cold winter, and some players, maybe, I know it's just bad to say, but some foreign players who, you know, wearing their gloves and everything else, and have to come up against these big units of Burnley, because they're all big guys, big solid guys. They're eventually going to beat you and grind you down. So big up to Sean Dyche. I just think about management, this is someone who's getting the maximum out of the players, of the ability that he's got at his club, and the lack of resources. So I really have to respect these sort of two managers for two completely different reasons. And fair play to Vieira, man. You really, I think Vieira's got a good understanding of how to tune into these younger players. South London is a big region, talent pool, and I think he'd get the best out of these young, talented Crystal Palace players that are in the reserves and the youth team, because they look up to him for one. He knows how to speak their language. You know, he's French. You know what I'm talking about. Being street, you know, like, yeah, get on the same page as them, that kind of thing. I think Vieira's got it made. He knows he's coming at the right time, and to get them maximize the potential of a lot of these guys. Conor Gallagher is for one, the guy on loan from Chelsea. He's having a brilliant game, a brilliant season, and he got a cap for England the other day. I know it's San Marino, whatever, but he's deserved it. And that's all under Vieira.
Yeah, agreed. And you know what? I mean, I think you made a good point about Sean Dyche. I think he might be the longest serving manager in Premier League, right?
Possibly, yeah.
I think he might be. Possibly. I don't think there's anybody else. I think everybody else is new.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing, isn't it? And in these times where managers are sacked pretty much straight away if they mess up. But with Burnley, they see something in him. And I think much respect to the club as well for keeping and sticking with him, because he's kept them up. You know, he's kept them up all that time. So well done.
Yeah, and also it's a slow and steady build up with Burnley. I see they've got owners now. We've got a little bit of money. As long as they stay in that Premier League, they are going to continually slowly build up. And the best thing about that is Sean Dyche. Each time he brings in new players and works with new players, he's only going to improve himself as well. He's going to keep improving. And I think the longer that Dyche stays at Burnley, the better he's going to get, and the better football we're going to start to see from Burnley as the seasons go on. That's the way I see it. I don't see them being stale and just sticking to, because if you look at, let's just say, the games so far this season, you go back a few seasons and have a look at what they were doing then. Don't think it'll be exactly the same right now as to what they were doing then. So I see it as a slow and steady build to try and, become a more sort of attacking playing team, because he's not all out part of the bus all the time. He does take risks as well. We do see him take risks. So, big up to Sean Dyche.
Yeah, big up indeed. We're going to shout out some comments. If you are watching, please press subscribe, share, like. Got a bit of a cough. I was a bit ill this weekend, so apologies. Niall Kane says, did you guys see Conte go mental?
Yeah,
first game, passion. He was very happy.
Very passionate he was.
And sorry, just to go back to that point, I think for the Spurs fans as well, they'd be looking around and thinking, we got the golden guy here. He's a winner. And you think, why are you cheering over a win over Leeds? Coming back. But I think that was, he'd done it, he's animated. He wanted to show that. He didn't do it in the tunnel, or he wanted to show everyone, all the fans around the stadium, I'm the man. So that was a good thing.
The other side of that, Omondi, is how that the players, how that reflects on the players. The players see you see your manager doing that, in front of the crowd. You're like, oh, you've got to be up there. You've got to be at it as well, because otherwise people are going to start pointing the finger. So it's clever from Conte, really.
Save your breath, talk, because we will get to that game at the end. Save your breath. Good points made. Big up my boy Matt. Big up Lauren. I missed the Formula One today. Heard Hamilton won. What's the Formula One channel called? I watched Devils United. You're all amazing on there. Thank you so much, Noel. I'll ask Lauren again what the name of it. I think it's something like the starting pit stop or the starting grid.
Yes.
I keep forgetting, so apologies.
The checkered flag? I can't remember. Yeah.
There's so many out there.
I was on the show with Stephen today, and he told me about it. Yeah.
I don't understand nothing about Formula One at all. Nothing.
Big up the panels. I'm just watching I'm a Celeb. Thank you for that. I don't know why you want to do that, mate. Come and join us here. Big up the panel. Press like and subscribe. Please do that if you are watching. Oi, Matty. Big up Stuart Jones. Big up
Luca.
Well done to Joe. Luca. Winning his first game, and then we'll go on to the next groups after this. He's done okay, Graham Potter. He's not the greatest, but he needs to move on to a better club to do more, like win a cup for me. For you, Arsenal, yeah? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. I think on that comment, I think this is where the danger lies for managers like Graham Potter. Is if you've hit a brick wall like this, the current club, and then you think, what I need now is a move to a bigger club or whatever. No. You've got to hit a brick wall at the current club, and then you've got to get through that brick wall. You've got to sort the problem out and then get back to getting the results. Then it shows that we hit a problem, so what? But we can resolve it. We can get through it. That's the key to it, really.
Yeah, I agree. Newcastle 3, Brentford 3. Next fixture, next result. Talk. What did you make of this one? Eddie Howe's kind of first game in charge. I know he's out now for 10 days, isn't he? Staying at home from Corona or something. So what do you make of this? Brentford as well, doing quite well. They went up 3-2, didn't they? Then Newcastle pulled it back.
Yeah,
didn't give them an easy time.
Brentford, we know we've talked about Brentford a few times about how they play. They can do a bit of everything, Brentford. Break teams down, get in behind, play long ball. The only problem with Brentford is that they'll leave themselves exposed. When they're chasing the ball and pressing and trying to get hold of possession, they'll leave themselves exposed with huge gaps on the pitch. That's where they get exploited. And for me, I think with Eddie Howe not being there at the game, especially, and for Newcastle to come out of this with a point, considering it is Brentford and for the reasons I've just stated how they play, I think that's a good result for Newcastle. And I think maybe who would be the more disappointed out of that? You've got to guarantee it's going to be Eddie Howe. He's going to be gutted. He's going to be like, damn, if I'd have been at the game, would we have got another goal? Could I have been on the touchline geeing them up? Could I have, made the difference? And so I think the happier there out of those two would definitely be Eddie Howe. Brentford, I think, would feel a little bit disappointed that they've let Newcastle get back into the game, like they did. So they've got lessons to learn, Brentford. They seem like a bit. They show signs of being a really, really great team. But like I say, there are certain aspects of the game that they need to work on where they do get caught out. And if they can figure that out, that part of the puzzle, I think Brentford should be fine this season. but it's going to be the second season, syndrome, how they deal with that. Look at Leeds right now. Leeds are in a bad spot.
Yeah. They are, aren't they, Leeds? We'll again talk about that at the end. Similar kind of thing going on there. Omondi, what do you make of like Eddie Howe coming in at Newcastle? Think it was a good appointment, and do you think it's like Talk said, a miss for him to yesterday? Sorry, a miss for him not being able to be there and sort of pushing on the players, making halftime team talks and stuff like that. It might have helped them get that win. If he was,
I think it's a really good appointment. The more I think about it, I think he's the right man for the job. And I've seen interviews, I've seen him on the training ground. I think he suits them down to the ground. He's got 3 or 4 ex-Brentford, Bournemouth players there. I think it's Wilson, Ritchie, and the Scottish guy, Fraser as well. They're all there as well. And he's changed formation. He's gone to so they're starting with a 3-4-3. So there's a change already in the side, and they had a lot of shots on target yesterday, and lots more shots than Brentford, that's for sure. So I think the atmosphere at Newcastle is bubbling right now. The 12th man will be the fans. That's a major factor for them. It must be really exciting for them. Exciting times. They're going to be talking every day at work, all the fans. Who are we getting in? What's going to happen next? There's a lot to talk about, and I think Newcastle on the rise. They really are. And I think it's the best appointment they can make. They could have got in some big flash coach to come in initially and buy all these big players and everything else. I think what you're going to get with their manager now is just organisation and results as well. They're going to be playing a good brand of football as well. Already, I feel sorry for the fullbacks because look like in this system, he's going to be wing backs instead of fullbacks. So they haven't really got good fullbacks. If you look at Newcastle's squad, they've had sort of the Spanish guy, I forget his name now, and then it's like they're not really up to the standard. So probably he's looked at the squad and said, right, let me play 3 centre backs and put Murphy and Ritchie, who's played with before at Bournemouth, in these sort of wing back roles or whatever you call them, or in the midfield, and that would be going forward. That would be more effective for them. I like that's a great result for Newcastle. I was looking out for them. You'd think what sort of impact would the new manager have? And as we're going to see throughout the results this week, new managers are having a good impact on the squad. And because he wasn't there, that's the only reason they didn't win, I'd say. No. And going to Brentford are my local club. I just think their whole management, it's been like a process or a project they've had 10 years in now. I've got a good friend who's a journalist as well, who knows everything about Brentford. I've had him on our show before, and it's so insightful what they've done and how they've built it. And the model they've got. So if you look at Watkins, you look at all these Brentford players, Barami, if you look at Tony, all these players that they're producing, they're all coming from like lower leagues or coming through the ranks. If you look at all the young players that are playing, we're going to notice in the next 5 years who are at other clubs now, they've all come from Brentford. There's West Ham have got 2 or 3 young players from Brentford. Tottenham have got 2 players, young players. These are youth players that they've stolen from Brentford Academy. Coming through. Brentford never used to have a B team or under 18s. Now they're starting to sort of they still don't in a way, but they've got a Brentford B team. So which is like they go and play for competitive games a lot of the time. I follow them, so they play a lot of competitive games. So these guys are playing at a level. So even if you're a 17-year-old, you can fit into this sort of B team and play top level football in for the B team. It's sort of like what a Real Madrid B or a Barca B would do. They go around playing all these tough games every week. They lose most of the time, but they've got so much talent there. So their model for football seems to be working. 10 years on, they're in the Prem, new stadium. The season after they build a new stadium, they're in the Prem. And this is just like, a great way to manage a club. So I'm all up with the Bees.
Yeah, do you know what? Just saying that, you're saying they have a B team because they are the Bees, aren't they? So that's they have a B team.
Yeah. Good one.
So moving on to another manager coming in here from Aston Villa, and amazingly, this was the team that he played with Aston Villa and got sacked. And his next game in after 8 days was Southampton, and he goes and wins it. I mean, he must be feeling so good at the moment. And I mean, Southampton probably thinking, why didn't we not take advantage of this? But then again, what you said, Omondi, having new managers come in is really good for the players. I think they're looking at it going, right, we've got to sort ourselves out. Like Talk said, we've got to fight for our positions. Talk, great start for Dean Smith.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at her stats, I mean, the possession stats were, crazy in favour of Southampton.
Yeah.
I think it was like 63%.
63%.
Yeah, 63%, 17 shots, 5 on target. But when you look at Norwich, Norwich have had, it's all about shots are shots, but shots on target is where it's at. So they've had 4 to Southampton's 5. They've had 2 less corners. So, but I mean, out of those 2 managers, who would you say was the better manager? For me, whether I'm right or wrong, I would say Hasenhüttl is a better manager than Dean Smith. I quite like him as well. Hasenhüttl, I quite like him as a manager. I think he's got, he plays decent football, and he's, the 4-4-2 is, with that squad that he's got. I don't know. Maybe you look at that and think, is that where you've kind of slipped up a little bit there against the 4-3-3 with a new manager?
So maybe he's got to change back to wearing tracksuits, because I hear he's wearing suits now, isn't he? Waistcoats. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you know what? There are all these like old wives' tales, isn't there, and like superstitions and that. But you know what? No, I just think I think they'll be okay, Southampton. But I think they'll be really disappointed in getting beat like that by a new manager coming in at Norwich, because you know what? When Dean Smith was at Villa, he did turn them around when he first went there. There's no 2 ways about that. He did improve them, but then he had his best asset and the heart of the team ripped out, as in Jack Grealish. And what he failed to do, in my opinion, he knew that Jack Grealish was going to be going. It was quite obvious he was going to be going. He should have been making preparations and plans for that. And in doing so, maybe should have looked at how he was setting the team up. He should have looked at maybe setting the team up in order to sort of counter that loss, if you like, rather than trying to fill that void with somebody else. Because that's, there's not, how many Jack Grealishes are there? Not a lot. You know what I mean? So I think he's missed a little bit of a trick there, and it just came back to bite him on the behind. You know what? But good luck to him at Norwich, because he seems like a decent guy and everything else. But I just think, I think, like I say, for me, Southampton will be more disappointed, because it's Hasenhüttl will be disappointed in himself, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I guess. Look, I mean, Omondi, I guess with Dean Smith, he's not expected to stay up, is he, either? So there's not quite a lot of pressure there. So that means he can sort of
take risks.
Work his magic, change things around if they don't work straight away, and try and see what he can do with the team that he's been given. Would you say?
Yeah, totally. I mean, great result. First of all, great result. First debut for Dean Smith to come and get that result. 3 points, which is something they've been struggling to get all season until they sacked their manager when they won the first game. But yeah, I like the appointment. It's the right appointment for him, because Dean Smith has been down in the Championship with Villa, and he's established them and built them up and got a foundation with them. I think this is what Norwich they rely on. They rely on going back down, having a bit of parachute money, using it wisely. They've sold their best players. I mean, they've consistently sold their players. Sold the left back to Newcastle. They sold the guy to Aston Villa this year, the attacking midfielder. And I'm thinking, why would you do that coming into the Prem, But this is what they do. They sustain themselves, and I think they, buying Dean Smith, they're not saying that we're going to stay up, but what they're saying is we're going to continue this thing where we're going to go down and be established enough to come back up again and be one of the stronger teams in the Championship again. So I think this is about expectation and how do you remain self-sufficient as a club by just using the resources that are available to you, and having a manager like Dean Smith, who's done it before, is experienced in doing that with what we said with Villa and in the Championship. And he's brought up Championship players. You look at Villa's squad, they look at their fullbacks, Matty Cash. You got on the other side, forget the guy's name, Conte, the centre back Conte. He came from Brentford. Conte, the centre back from Villa. Someone will know in the comments anyway. Gives you a K, black guy. Yeah, he's come from Brentford as well, and he's established now. And the people talk about him as an England cap. So there's so many players in the Championship and below who can play Premiership. And this is what Dean Smith knows about. That's his expertise. And I think he's a great fit for Norwich. Not to say he's going to keep them up. As for Southampton, I just think how long have they been in the Prem? I mean, for years and years and years. They're a great little club. Always got great youth academy. Always got great youth coming through. It's sort of died down recent years. I don't know what they're doing down there anymore, because they used to produce real worldies. But hopefully this guy can keep them up and keep them going, because I think they're another good little club.
I think they were tired of Liverpool stealing all their players, weren't they? Omondi? They just cut the link. Right, we ain't got any players no more. Like, he's all we've got. Like, him over there, and like he's sweeping up a bit with a broom. Like,
yeah, Brian. You can have Brian in the crowd there. He's been pulling it.
Let's shout out some comments then. Seeing as we've got we're just over halfway there, so we'll try and run through these very quickly. Where did we get to now? I believe it was. Oh no, sorry, beg your pardon. It was here. Bath time with Vaughn. Hello, mate. How you doing? If you are top people, if you are tuning in, please smash subscribe, share, like if you can. Big up Bath time with Vaughn. I love that name as well. It's very good. This is Lucas Live. Burnley free, good game. Yeah, like Monday said, it was a very good, interesting game. What a game. Burnley and Palace was lots of goals, but fair play to Burnley. I think most managers are furious if they concede 3 goals. Both teams should be concerned about that. Would you say? I mean, is that a concern if you let in 3 goals but you score 3?
Officially, yeah. Ideally, you set out for a clean sheet, don't you? But I think got a point. I think both managers will be. That's a point for each team. Away from home for Palace is not bad, but they can look. At least they can look at it and say, "Look, how do we go into the next game and not concede like that?" And that would be important for both managers there. So he's right.
I will get to your other comment, Bath. We're going to go on to that game next, so I'll add that in then. Vieira will be the right man for Palace, but he will get in some good players on cheap. When England win the World Cup, it will be mainly from South East London players. Hope so, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. Would have loved to come on. Haven't been on the stream for a while with Talk and Omondi. Yes, mate. You need to get Twitter so we can send it to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on,
I
Talk.
was going to say, get on Twitter, on there. Come on, get with it, bro.
Yeah. Get with the times.
Yeah, she'll be on next week, next Sunday, Niall. So if you come tune in, mate, we'll get her to shout it out. One more here. 3-3 Newcastle Brentford really shows how defending keeps you up. I'd worry about both teams now to go down. Yeah, I mean, maybe they are 2 teams that could be fighting for the relegation battle at the end, right, guys?
Yeah, quite possible.
Yeah, I mean, like I said with Brentford, you know, they've got to try and work on this part of their game where they're leaving themselves exposed while they're trying to hunt for goals. You know, that's the key for me with them, because, like I said, they're good at most parts of the game. Apart from that, that's the little weakness that they have. I mean, in terms of Newcastle, I know what you're saying, but in order to get goals, if you've conceded a goal, you've got to open up. You've got to take risks. So, for me, it's tit for tat. It is what it is.
Guys.
Oh dear. Can we skip this one, folks?
Every week, Talk, we've been on this show, we've always wanted to skip Man United because we haven't won a game since we've done this show. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I should get sacked from YouTube. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I'm giving you your P45 right now. Or your Y45, YouTube 45, mate. Here you go. But no, I mean, look, listen, I don't think we were really deep down expecting anything much from this game. I mean, again, you look at the stats, the stats even. Just say the stats. Oh, God.
Sorry, can I interrupt you there?
Go.
Stephen Finney, I'm giving you a heads up now. He's got this little comment bit of video of you saying statistics.
Oh yeah.
Something. Have you seen it? It's so funny. Put it on today.
Yeah, the statistics.
But now you just say stats.
Yeah, man. I just missed that. I missed out the stuff. But I don't think any of us really expected much out of this game, considering what had gone before it, considering the position Ollie was in, and everything else going on. And the stats tell a different story when you look at the possession. Right? I'm not going to do it Monday. Certificates and statistics. Right. So, but I mean, let me just say this. When I woke up this morning, the first person I thought of was Ollie. I just thought of Ollie, I do listen. I love Ollie. I mean, he's a great guy. He's a great person. Look at what he did there with that fan. Some fan has been waiting out in the cold on the side of the road near Carrington, waiting for Ollie. He's obviously flagged him down right? Ollie's stopped, and he's probably said to him, "Oh, can I take a selfie with your boss? Whatever, blah blah." And he's ended up then getting out of the car and giving the guy a hug, and the guy's made Ollie feel like, hopefully, he said, we love you, the fans love you, and blah blah blah. It made Ollie feel good, hopefully, because he should feel good about what he's done, in my opinion. The last sort of 8 weeks or so have been, it's been a really fast downward trend in our play, and that's just what happens when things aren't going right. It can quickly go sour on you, and so I wish Ollie all the best and everything else, and that's all I want to say about this game.
Yeah, look, I mean, well put, mate. And it was nice to hear you laugh as well, because it has been a bit miserable recently. So it's nice to hear that everyone's sort of calmed down after the storm. Monday, I know you talked about it. So many shows recently, haven't you, in the last 24 hours, talking about what's happening, who's coming in, bloody blah. But I mean, you were down there, weren't you, as well? Down at Vicarage Road. What did you make of the result for both clubs? It's not been
brilliant result for Watford. I think, like you say, they got a new manager coming recently. He has changed it up for them. He's made them a bit more defensive, as in defensive, more compact. And what you have to realize with them, they got front three that are really quick and rapid. So they're going to cause anybody, if they start running at you like that, they're going to cause anyone problems. So I think using that, being compact, and then let these front three, Dennis, the ex-Man United guy who scored, and Mane's friend from Senegal, wherever his name is. Sarr. They're really formidable if they're running at you like that, and they cause us a lot of problems. When you play it down the corridor, play it down the channel or something, they will always make those runs. It's really effective. So you can see what they're doing there. Their whole strategy is to stay up. They've just been promoted. They're looking at Brentford. They're looking at the other side, Norwich as well. Norwich probably out of it, but between them and Brentford, probably got a good opportunity of staying up. They keep their top guys fit. They really opened us up. I think with Man United, it's about communication again. When you come up against teams that have got pacey forwards, everything else, don't let them run at your defence. They were too easy to get into the box. No one was closing them down. Lack of communications a couple of times where they have free headers and no one's picking up, no one's marking. So it's communication all round for me with Manchester United. But anyway, that's in the past. That's the old era. On with the new. Hopefully under Carrick as caretaker manager for the next few games, whatever, and then hopefully we get a proper manager in. Hopefully we can sort out these communication issues, shape issues, and be a bit more compact going forward.
Yeah, brilliant. Well put as well. We will move on from that. Let's talk about one that's actually interesting, because West Ham have been on a high, haven't they? They've had a great start to the season. They're doing so good in the Europa League. And Wolves have been a bit shaky recently, and they come up trumps, beating West Ham 1-0. What do you make of this? I think West Ham can bounce back from this. It's just one of those results, unfortunately, where they didn't get the 3 points, they didn't get a goal. They can move on from this, can't they? It doesn't mean that necessarily that this is the downward spiral for them, right?
No, not at all. I just think this is what's going to happen when you bring David Moyes back to the club, and then they start doing well. You're going to get these cold spots, and that's all it is. You get cold spots. They're basically hot, West Ham, but they are going to get these cold spots where it's just not going to work for them on any given day against any given team. So, but I do agree that they will be safe. There's no two ways about that. They will be up in the higher sort of echelons of the table. Looking for. Obviously, we know that David Moyes is, pushing really hard for top four. That's what he really wants. And to, when you look at it on paper, is that squad worthy of top four? Would you say? That's the thing, isn't it? See, so you're both shaking your head. So you got to ask yourself the question. David Moyes has reinvented himself. He's pushing this team, and this is what I'm saying. He's overheating. So you'll get a cold. You have to get the cold spots when you're pushing a team like that. Who are not really on paper where we'd say they should be there in that kind of position. So you're going to get these little cold spots. But again, for me, it's about with David Moyes, the way he's reinvented himself, the way he's learning more about the game, and even himself, how he's managing. And I guarantee with West Ham, they'll probably go on and win the next game. They will go on and win the next game, because David Moyes has got a lot of experience. He is, as much as he failed at Man United, and whether you got enough time and all the blah blahs, what people will say is another question. But I just think there's enough there for them to continue that fight going forward into the rest of the season. And for Wolves, new manager, don't know much about this manager, if I'm totally honest with you. But you know what? I'm sure he was over the moon with that result.
I think he would be, wouldn't he? Omondi, not so much Moyes, but I think he, like Talk says, I think he can bounce back from this. And yeah, they don't have the squad that would probably, you'd say, that would make top 4. But with January coming up, he could get some more players in, and they could become a top 4 club, possibly, right? I mean, they're doing so well.
I don't see them being a top 4 club. They had a really good season last season. No disrespect to them, they're obviously a good tight side. They're just solid, compact, and they're organised. And they've got better players than Burnley. Burnley have those 3 attributes, but these players are better, and you're going to get more often than not. You're going to get consistent results in the Premiership. I like Wolves. It's good to see them come back. They've had a bit of a up and down season, and even last season they were struggling a bit. After a good start, everyone was looking at them saying, okay, this is a good side. So it just shows how important things are to have that stability. They've got proven goal scorer. There's not many people you can say are proven goal scorers in the Premiership, but Jimenez, the Mexican dude, he had a serious injury, didn't he, to his head. He's come back now, and he will score their goals, and he's consistently scored their goals. I know they had a young guy, Silva. They got him from Porto. He's only 17, 18. He's one for the future. They played him last season when Jimenez was out, and he wasn't able to sort of really have the ability just yet at his age to do the goods. But having Jimenez in the side, they're always going to score goals. Solid base, Portuguese base. Is Portuguese manager. I mean, it's interesting seeing how different, when you look around the Premiership, there's different ways to sustain yourself, and their model is like working with getting all the best Portuguese players that they can get, and whatever deal they have, whatever arrangement they have, and to maintain them and keep them up like that. And I think it's working for them so far.
Yeah, agreed. And you know what? With the Portugal link, I think Jorge Mendes, the super agent, is involved with the club as well. So that, I guess that really does help when you've got an agent who is involved with the club, involved with lots of players, can bring in players pretty quick and easy, no hassle. So I think that's good as well. By the way, everybody, at the end of the show, we ask everybody to pick their player of the weekend, who they think was the man of the weekend. So if you're in the comments right now, put down who you think was the player of the weekend, and both you guys as well. I know it's difficult to do it in the next 10 minutes because quite a lot of good players this weekend. I think I've already got mine, and unfortunately it's from a rival club, but
yeah, we might be on the same page with that, Matt. Does his name begin with an M by any chance?
Second name, surname?
I don't know. I don't even. Oh yeah, so no, the surname begins with an M.
No, we're not on the same page. But I think
okay,
from the same club.
All right, okay.
Cool. Let's read out some comments then, because we've got only a couple left to go, and we've got over 12 minutes to go. Good win for Norwich and Dean Smith, but still my favourite to go down. We did read that one. From No Stats Talk has given, it sounds completely unsustainable from Norwich to play like that and get points. Norwich, good win. Big up Luca. Konza is a disaster of a centre-back. It's up to you, mate. It's up to you. He's like if you combine Eric Bailly and Dan James' defensive sense. Well, Dan James actually scored today. He didn't have a bad game. Did he score? He did score today. Yeah, he didn't have a bad game.
That's funny.
Tell us what you think about De Gea's interview. Guys, do you want to quickly say anything about that?
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I, actually. I don't know what was said. I mean, if you can enlighten us, let us know what he said, Vaughan. And but I can imagine what it is in a roundabout way. You know, he's probably talking about you're not blaming Ollie and blaming the players as well, which is, you know what, listen, it's fair enough. They're all feeling really bad. Let's have it right. They're all feeling really bad because they all love Ollie. They all respect him, you know. And,
one thing I would say, I think all these players are media trained, so a lot of stuff they're saying is not what they really feel. As we've seen with the ex-players, ex-teammates of Ollie as well. They're on TV giving punditry and all that kind of thing and not saying what they really feel, I don't think. It's media.
Course. Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you know, that is part and parcel of the whole game, isn't it, to be fair? Yeah. But I do believe, though, that they are deeply hurt by what's happened, the way it's all panned out, and with Ollie leaving. I don't
think so.
Yeah, I reckon that they'll be feeling. They
have to come out and say that. If you come out and say, you don't want media to come out and say, "Oh, it's because of Pogba. Pogba's the one who's stirring things up behind the scenes or whatever. Everything's going on." So every player, no one's going to come out and say, "Yeah, I'm glad he's gone. He was this and that." They don't want to say, "Oh, really sorry, really sorry." Bruno come out, "Oh, it's not him. It's all of us." All this kind of thing. I said, "Come on, bruv. You're probably the one who's leaking things to the media and cussing him when you're going on Portugal duty." You know?
Yeah, agreed. Devils United, big up, Matt, Talk-MU and Omondi.
Yep, amazing.
Go check out Mate. She'll be with us on Wednesday for the Champions League show. This was the final curtain for Ole. He should have left a month ago, but I reckon Ryan Giggs might come in. No, he's got problems with court at the moment. He ain't coming in. You mad?
I ain't gonna come in.
Might come in again in a short term till a new manager comes in, and there's definitely not going to happen. If that happens, there'll be uproar. I tell you that, if that happens. Because he's got his own problems in a moment. I don't think he'll be doing it. Even Wales got rid of him, didn't they? So I can't see that happening. Agreed, Talk. Where we was when Ole first came, and now we can't thank him enough. Completely agree. Charlie, we are finishing up in a minute. But come on next Sunday, mate, if you want to. 9:00 p.m. with me, Lauren, and Talk. You're more than welcome, mate. West Ham, do you feel that was a one-off loss? Yeah, probably. I think we all agreed that they can bounce back from that, can't they?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into the last games then, because we are right at the end. We've got 3 more to go. Remember, pick your favourite player of the weekend if you can. Put it in the comments. Subscribe, share, and like if you can. And let's roll on. Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0. Everyone's saying, especially Arsenal fans, that we can do this. We can beat them. Well, Ramsdale had a great game. Let's not take any credit from the goalkeeper. Had a smashing game, but it wasn't meant to be for Arsenal. Liverpool just stormed it. I know Arteta and Jurgen Klopp on the touchline going at it, weren't they? Fisticuffs. And I think that sort of gave the crowd a certain buzz at Anfield and helped them go and win the game. Talk, what did you make of this result for Liverpool? Looking unstoppable again, aren't they?
Yeah, they look. You know, we know what Liverpool are. We know how they work. You know, they're not really too concerned about what's going on behind them, which I've always been saying about what I said about Ole. I used to say that all the time. You know, we've got to stop being worried about what's going on behind us in our own goal and concentrate more on how we hurt their goal. And that's exactly Jurgen Klopp's philosophy. You know, it's that playing that risky game of the numbers game and pressing and the Gengen and blah blah blah. And I think Arsenal in a way kind of played into Liverpool's hands, really. You know, for them to score 4 past an Arsenal team that was seemingly on the up. You know, Jurgen Klopp. This is why he's such a great manager. He's a clever manager. You know, he's identified where he can hurt Arsenal. Took advantage of that. They just didn't. They weren't comfortable Arsenal at all with the way Liverpool were pressing them so high up the pitch and everything else. It just wasn't nice for them at all, and it's not nice for any team, is it? You see, you know, you've got players like Mane and Salah and co just hounding you for the ball, you know, with support. It's scary, man. It's a scary place to be, you know. And if you don't get your positioning right and you're passing right and you use the space well, they'll just have you. You know, it's like being attacked by a pack of, you know, Yorkshire Terriers, and you know what they're like. You know what I mean? They're quick. You know, you look one way and they're gone. You look the other way, they're gone. You don't know where they are. You know, and it's really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, Liverpool are a big rival, but I do like watching them. Just because they play fantastic football. You can't argue with that fact. I think Arsenal, with the result, yeah, they'll be so disappointed. It's more like a spanking, really, isn't it? That's all right. It's only 1 less goal than what we got tonked by from Liverpool. So, you know, but I think Arsenal will.
It was away, though. Give them credit. It was a away game, though. Well, ours was at home, wasn't it?
But yeah. But even still, I mean, you know, it's 4 goals, and it's like, you know, I don't think Arteta would have been expecting that. I think Arteta would have been happy to come out of that with a draw, you know. But like I say, they just got Jurgen Klopp just schooled them, to be fair. But I think Arsenal will come back from that. I think they will, you know. I don't think they're going to let that dent their confidence in terms of where they've been before that game. I don't see that.
I know Omondi, Tavares, is it the left back?
Left back, yeah, from Benfica.
he was kind of giving it, wasn't he, before the game, saying like, I'll take on Salah, no problem. Like he's no trouble, and he kind of got schooled. I think it looked like he made quite a few blunders as well. How do you feel? How do you feel Arsenal went about that game as well? Do you think they went wrong with the tactics? And
No.
you think Liverpool just did what they were meant to do, right?
Yeah, I think just playing to form. I think if Luca's in the comments, I've watched one of his podcasts today, and he was saying that the form is. Oh yeah, Luca. Yeah, they say Luca was basically saying he's an Arsenal fan. He watches them all the time. He was saying he felt it was fake form, as we called it, fake form that they had, that they're doing so great and all the fans are getting excited. But when you come up against a real team like Liverpool, this is a real result. It just shows you where you're at, and it's a bit of a slap in the face. Liverpool, I don't want to talk about them because they're too good at the moment. They're levels above anyone else, I think, in the league at the moment, with Man City and probably Chelsea as well. I think those three teams are like elite compared to the other teams, and that's the kind of evidence for it. Arsenal, I think they're doing well. Good goalkeeper, good support with the left back. I like Nathan Miles, whatever his name is. I think he's a good player to have in your squad. And I thought Trent was fantastic. 2 great assists as well he had. And I think he's just like a special player, really special player. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Arsenal, you come back strong. You're building young side, playing with philosophy. Just keep with that, and you'll do really well.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah. Moving on, because we've got 2 more games left. Read out comments, and we'll read out your player of the weekend. Talk Man City 3-0. Watched it earlier. This is where my player of the weekend comes in. I won't shout it out right now, but another good result from Man City. Benitez under fire, could be possibly going unless he changes things. What do you make of this result, mate?
It was a total piss take from Man City, if I'm honest with you. Man City just took the push. They were never in any kind of trouble, or it was just so easy for Manchester City. They're just so good. They're just so good. They Everton. And that appointment never sat well with me anyway. In the first place, it was a crazy appointment. Taking Rafa Benitez at Everton. It's like when they did it with Carlo Ancelotti. I remember saying at the time, what are they thinking here? You're bringing in a manager here who you're going to have to give him exceptional amounts of money to get a team together that are going to be able to work to his philosophy and ideas. But even then, it ain't guaranteed that it's going to work. It's crazy. They can't buy it. They've tried to. What they're trying to do here is Everton. They're trying to circumnavigate, the long haul. They're not talking before about the slow build with Burnley. Everton are trying to circumnavigate that because they've got a bigger history than Burnley, as we know. But you can't do that. It ain't going to work for them. So for me, Everton are, whether they keep with Benitez if the results keep going like this for them, is questionable. I don't think they probably won't. But Manchester City, like I said, they're on talk about Liverpool being on another planet. City are in a different galaxy, mate. Honestly, they just totally took the mickey. Yeah,
they did. And Omondi, I guess Everton fans wouldn't have the love lost if Benitez did get sacked. A lot of fans were unhappy with the appointment. What do you think they need to do, mate? Because it's a bit difficult for them, especially they've got, I think, financial fair play coming in with their involvement. They can't buy players in January. They've got to wait until the summer. I mean, does this affect them?
Yeah, it probably does. Just chill and relax. They got Benitez as their manager. He's a very, very good manager. You go back 20 years ago, he was winning leagues with Valencia. And he had a great side with Valencia. I mean, really built them up. And he can't fool him. He cannot fool him. Every club he's been at, he's been solid, consistent, and on the verge of winning things. I don't think he's going to win much with Everton. So the fans just got to get off his back and give him a break, because who are you going to get in? It's like us. Who are you going to get in then? All right, sack Benitez. Then who do you want? Come on, you got the answers? You ain't got the answers. Shut the F up, Let Benitez stay and do his thing. That's my opinion. I want to talk about City. Man. We were talking earlier about a manager. What I think is a good sign of a manager is someone who can reinvent the side, make changes, reinvent the side. I'm seeing that happening under Pep. He's been there long enough now. He's filtering people out. Got rid of Kun, Aguero. Raheem Sterling could be on the way out. Mahrez is getting 29, 20, that sort of age. But I just want to talk about the guy Palmer that played for them. I watched the England under-21 game recently, and it was in the midfield three. It was our boy from Man United, who's always on loan, Ghana. It was Conor Gallagher, and it was this left-footed Palmer from Man City. And I'm like, who's this guy? Baller, pure left foot, but totally talented, and he's played him as a false nine. I'm sure it's the same guy, left-footed guy, and I've kept tabs on him ever since. This under-21 game was like a few months ago, and I'm thinking, wow, what a great club to get opportunity and to play in one of the greatest sides in the world, and you're a youngster. Foden's done it, and now this guy Palmer seems to be coming through, and another guy came on for Palmer as well, striker. So. What I like about Pep, he gives you an opportunity, and he's giving youngsters opportunity. And if he leaves tomorrow, he could say, "You're set." Don't touch the thing, don't spoil anything. It's all there for you. Just enjoy the fruits of my labor. Plant the seed, and ripe things will grow, and good fruit as well. So Palmer is a guy I'm thinking, wow, it's good to see him in the Premiership and playing for Man City, and for the man to give him an opportunity like that. So Man City, proper side, proper philosophy. They're all on point. They know exactly what to do. I'm sure all the players are intelligent as Pep now, and they would know because they're drilled into them day in, day out about where they're supposed to be in their spacings, in their triangles. They all know what they have to do, and they're going to be really high IQ players, all of them, from the under 18s all the way up.
That's the thing I've been banging on about that for ages with Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. It's in giving players specific instructions for sort of specific areas of the pitch and sticking to it, and then obviously we know about the cover and all the blah blahs that goes without saying, but they're just so that's why they're just so good at it. They're just so good
and
at it.
And they stroll around the park.
Exactly, yeah. That's it, because they all, like you just said, they all know what they've got to do, and they know if they stick to that plan and work the ball quickly. If you've got space and time, you can be a little bit more thoughtful about what you're doing. But if you haven't, even then, they can just move that ball so quickly. They'll have you in knots. They'll have you in knots.
Yep, I agree. And we are going to move on to the last game. Smash, subscribe, share, like. Put in your player of the weekend if you can. Just straight up their name, and then we'll read them out and we'll go through them. Last but not least, Spurs finishing off this weekend with a 2-1 win. Conte, I think, as we saw in the comments earlier, I see him raging at the crowd to push them and push the team on. Great result for Spurs. Unfortunate for Leeds. Daniel James bagging a goal, but wasn't to be to get the equaliser there for Leeds. What do you make of this result?
Yeah, I mean, look, I did watch some of it while I was preparing Sunday dinner, etc. But they were getting booed actually at half time. Spurs, they were getting booed. And I was thinking, oh, what's going on here? Jeez Louise, it's like, and I think that's also why Conte, when he did get so animated, it's like, look, how dare you doubt me? How dare you doubt me? You know what I mean? And it's a great thing to see a manager getting so animated like that. But I mean, really, Leeds squad's nowhere near Spurs squad, in my opinion. That's for starters. Who's the better manager out of those two? In terms of things won, you'd have to say Conte. You'd have to say Conte. Bielsa, I would say, is a cleverer manager than Conte in terms of understanding the game and the way he plays the game and everything else. But I think Leeds are just lacking some quality players in that team. They need 2 or 3 really great quality players if he's to sustain this system that he likes to employ. The 4-1-4-1, i.e. 3-3-1-3. He's got to bring in some quality in order to save this season, because they are in a really, like, I don't know what position they're in. Let me just have a quick glimpse at where they are. I think they're down at the bottom, aren't they? Yeah, they're in 17th on 11 points. So -8 goals. It's not looking great, is it, from last season? The second season syndrome and all that. But Spurs. I mean, what's their goal? What's Antonio Conte's goal with Spurs this season right now? What's he going to be aiming for? That's the question we've got to ask ourselves. where could they potentially get to?
Well, maybe ask Omondi that. What do you think, mate? What do you think about that?
Realistically, I think they can get top 6. Yeah, I watched the game. Thought it was a good game. It was obviously live on Sky. I thought it was a good game. I thought the first half Leeds were playing really well, hurting them, and I thought doing the Leeds thing. We all know what Leeds, how they play. They pepper you. They're on you. They work really hard. They don't really foul much, but they're on your back. As soon as you get the ball, you're going to know there's a man on you. I saw a couple of times Harry Kane tried to sort of fake dribble and then push and go, and he went 5 yards and 2-3 men were on him, like busy bees all over you. And I like their style. But one thing, I think if Bielsa was able to sort of have a bit more balance with his style and philosophy, he would do a lot better, I believe, because you're 1-0 up and you end up losing 2-1. That's where the manager comes in, and you've got to say to yourself, right, let me secure this result now. Let me tighten up a little bit, just squeeze it in, rein it in a little bit, guys. But he doesn't. He says, continue doing your thing, or my thing, his meaning Bielsa, my thing, my philosophy. Continue playing that way, and it's refreshing. It's good, but days like today, I'd like 3 points is more important than actually continuing to play like that. Daniel James really raiding well, looking good player for them. I was thinking, oh my God, he's good. Who is that? Oh, it's Daniel James. How would he be at Man United right now? Because I remember sighing when he get the ball or do something. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. But at Leeds, he's sort of he's found his level and he's really effective. He's really a threat. Like when watching him for international level, the Euros, I'm thinking, oh, this guy's a threat. He's a threat. And when he's running at you, it's difficult. He kept running at the Spurs today, and they were backing off with the speed. You make a tackle, he goes down in the box or something like that. So I like Leeds. I said last season they'd come in the top 6. After last season, I thought with the right additions, they can come in the top 6 or 8. And I was really wrong because they're right down the bottom at the moment. And I think people are, because of results like today, you're 1-0 up, away from home. You could slap Conte in the face here, but you left yourself open. And that's, to me, is where you need to have a little bit of balance, even though I love his stuff.
The only one on Monday I put Leeds with Arsenal looking for that 5 and 6 spot. Arsenal are there, but Leeds have really, really surprised me because. But again, let's have it right. They are capable. There's enough games for Leeds to get it right and go on a bit of fun.
They're only 6 points off of Man United.
Shush.
Who is?
Shush.
Leeds.
Oh yeah, well, look, yeah. That's a stat that we can't really read too much into because we know that we are, we are totally on the floor right now. Sparkle down the eastern side. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Michael Carrick brings us back out of this coma for this match coming up because they really need to really wake up sharpish for this game.
It is important, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, man. Foxes making noise outside.
No, that's all right, mate. No worries at all. No, I know how dogs are like with foxes and cats, etc. like that. You can't help it, mate. You can't help it. They're only trying to protect you, Omondi. They're only trying to protect you. I get it. Play of the weekend then, guys. People in the comments as well. I've seen one already. We're going to shout that one out from bath time. Talk, who was your player of the weekend?
I'd have to say Sadio Mane. He's just quality, man. Sadio Mane is a great player. Absolutely great player. That goal he scored, from that free kick. Getting it the way he headed it down and boom, get it in the net, and it's just his overall play. He's just a great. I know Salah would probably get a higher rating than him, but I don't think it's fair that Mane should be left out. So for me, it would be Mane. I like Mane. He's got there's something about him I like. He's got a nice way about him. I just like him.
Yeah,
that's cool, mate. That's cool. Monday, what about you, mate? Who's your standout player of the weekend?
It's another Liverpool player. I think Trent. It was probably not the standout player, but for me, I appreciate what a talented young player he is. And despite he plays for Liverpool, you just got to say this guy is a dream, a gem. And I know it sounds outrageous, but I think he's one of the best. If I was picking like a world 11, he would be up there, like maybe as my 1 or 2 right back or right wing back. If I was picking a team like that, he's really good, man.
Yeah, he's got to be because, like you say, Monday, he's absolutely sensational, but also the relationship he's got with Jurgen Klopp. This is the genius of Jurgen Klopp is getting, because who was Alexander Arnold before Jurgen Klopp turned up? Who was Robertson before Klopp turned up? Even though Robertson taking a little bit of a dip.
Gigi Wijnaldum. at Newcastle, get relegated.
Exactly,
He's not all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Prove me wrong.
So he is a fantastic talent, and also the other guy, the other kid at Liverpool who got injured, that Harvey Elliott, he's going to be an unbelievable player as well when he comes back. We just got to wait for him to get over his injury, which was shocking, to be fair. But hopefully they don't do too well. I don't want Liverpool winning anything this season, if I'm honest with you, but I don't mind watching them.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's your player of the week, Matty?
Oh, mine was actually Charlie will like me for this. Cancelo. João Cancelo. He had a really good game today, and that assist for Sterling. I don't know if you saw it. Anyone?
Yeah, great ball.
Outside of the banana curl, as they call it, I think.
Yeah.
Just split. I've never seen anything like. Look, he made it look so easy, and I'm pretty sure it was easy for him, but I'd never be able to make a pass like that. Incredible, like my favourite. I know, look, everybody said Liverpool players because Bath Time says Jota had a stormer, which he did. He had a good game. I don't know whether Anthony's being serious with this. Did he have a good game?
No. That's the guy I was trying to pronounce earlier. For Arsenal, yeah. He's not saying he played well. He's just saying, I think he's a good, solid player.
Right, good. And Dugout Daily says Rodri. I'm pretty sure he said Rodri.
Yeah, I like Rodri.
Cancelo was class today. We've gone over time. I'm sorry if I didn't shout out some of the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Smash, subscribe, share, like if you can. We're going to let you know where you can find everybody. Monday Talk, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Anytime, guys. You're my pals. Omondi, let's start with you, mate. Where can we find you, mate? And let me take off this banner for you, sir. There we go.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Matt, for having me on your show. As you know, we're good friends. I love you. And we do things for each other, as in come on each other's shows, everything else. I come on your show, you come on our show, which is the Man United agenda. We put up content all throughout the week. I like to see Anthony Herbert, and we've got the same people commenting on Herbert, Dugout Daily, Charlie. It's a nice little community here, and I'm glad you guys are tuning in because Matt has got it going on with his channel. Love European football, love international football. We can learn about other leagues through Matt and his channel, and that's what I think is really fantastic. So, yeah, thank you, Matt, for having me on.
Thank you, Monday, mate. Means so much for you to come on, mate. And thanks for the stats as well. That was brilliant, by the way, mate. You know that you were bringing up like the possession stats. I
was only going on BBC website, like Talk was.
I don't know.
I know as soon as I started doing that, Talk started bringing out stats. I said, "Are you doing the same as me?" Things we can't see.
No, and them stats were logged in my napper, mate. I brought them back from the, back of the head and them to the fore. Yeah, of course I was on BBC Sport. No, I'm not gonna lie.
So, where can we find you, mate?
I want to say the same as a Monday. I mean, I love coming on your channel, Matt, because like I say, it's always really nice and chilled, and it's always great conversation, really intelligent conversation. You're a top bloke. On Monday, big up to you as well. But yeah, you'll find me with a Monday on the Man United agenda, but also on this channel. So make sure you do subscribe to Matt's channel, because I know he's got a lot of things planned for the future coming forward. There's going to be a lot more content coming on. I just want to ask you, Matt, are you going to be doing anything around the Libertadores? There's a final.
That's coming up in February, right?
No. There's one coming up very soon. There's some big final, South American final coming up soon. I don't worry.
Yeah, there's a final before another final. The Copa Libertadores is a very strange one. It doesn't. Like, you remember when we did the Uruguayan league, and it was very difficult to understand because they have like two leagues. There's a final for them to, then other people play other people, and it's just a madness. But I think the actual final of it is in February, because it was last year, I think. So we will do something for it. Yeah, a live watch along. Hopefully Marley comes back as well. Big up to him too.
Big up, Marley, yeah.
Right, let's finish it off then, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for the guys as well for coming in. And we shall see you tomorrow for the Football Politics Show. Until then, have a pleasant rest of your Sunday, and we shall see you later.
Bye-bye.